All right, guys. Well, what do we have here? It looks like a lot of hoops to me. And if you think they're hoops, they are hoops. They're wheel hoops. The centers have been drilled out. They were riveted together. And these go to an interesting project. These go to an international Coleman axle. Coleman axles. Now, I'm not familiar with them at all, but if you want to learn more about him, check out Bare Knuckle Binder here on YouTube. A really neat process. He's a neat guy. Lives just down the road from me, next town over, and he rebuilds internationals. And this is going to be an interesting project. So he brought these parts to me, needing to get them welded up and fixed up. So he was having difficulties. This is the first thing. He was having difficulties finding the specific wheels for that unit, or for those axles, and it turns out that standard rims fit, but without the centers. And so what we're going to do here is we're actually going to plug all these rivet holes. Now relax, it's not going to hold air. These are just for tubes. They take tubes in there, so plug them up, weld them up, buff them down, make them look halfway decent. They'll be good. Next, this is actually the adapter, or an adapter, that goes from the rear axle bolt spacing to the larger wheel diameter. So this edge here will sit right along this edge here, and just like on mobile home trailers, they have those clips, those clamps, I don't know exactly what they're called. They hold the wheel onto this adapter, so that's pretty neat. He needs assistance with getting this out, so that's good. And then next, this is part of a steering knuckle. Got some miscellaneous little cracks right in there. We'll preheat it, weld it up. Most likely TIG welded, which would be a nice fun little project. So that's good there. And this here actually is part of the axle tube, I believe. And a solid axle goes in there. I mean, this is a tripped out invention, the way that guy Coleman made these axles. Crazy. But either way, this is where the top bearing goes for these knuckles. I don't know exactly how they go on, but I'll show you in a minute. This is the bearing race that goes in there. Of course, it's almost good. This side's good. The other side, not so much. So it's going to be interesting to see how we can find that center. Maybe we can follow that machining ring edge there. Either way, well, stick around, because what we're going to do is we're going to weld these up and plug weld them. There's an awful lot of holes. I think it's 3, 6, 9, 12 or so. 12 per rim. So a lot of plug welding. That'll be probably fast forwarded after a while. I'm going to show you the first couple, then we'll move on to the next thing, which will most likely, oh, I'm sorry. These things also take these locking little lugs that go right in between this section right here. Section right here. They hit there and they hit here. And what that allows in this area here is to allow the valve stem on the rubber tube to pass through here, but that keeps the wheel from spinning on this ring. So those little locking tabs will be needed to be welded on here. So much to do, neat little project, and so let's get after it. All right, now that I got those cleaned up, semi cleaned up, next step is to look at here. You see that they have a kind of a countersunk hole, I guess to accept the rivet, or I'm not actually sure. But what it did do is leave the raised edge on this side, on the inside. And my thoughts are now to go ahead and fill this side up with a colder weld, you know, for a smaller weld, just to kind of seal that up. And what that will do on the insides is it will burn off all this extra miscellaneous rust that I can't get off without actually sanding. So it'll start to flake the rust off of it, off of that hole, and then I can hit it with the wire brush. And then on top of that, or the wire wheel, then on top of that I can do a hot plug weld. So it'll just be like almost like a pulse, really hot, and I'll just create a button right there. So it'll allow it to settle into that area. And what that'll also help me do, being that this is the thinner side, it'll allow that all that area to blend in well, because this is thinner, you know, in case I don't get all the way around here with some good penetration. I'll seal this up as best as I can, but this is not the pretty side. And not to say that one side's gonna be prettier than the other at the moment, but I'm thinking that if I can get that plug welded with a nice hot weld, it'll just look like a round dot. So that's my thinking on it, at least. So I don't know if it'll work, but we're gonna give it a shot. We have 12, 24, 48 tries to get it right. And so that'll be next. Let's try and see if we're gonna try different styles. Nice dot, you know, tacks to plug it up until I get to the center, and that'll leave some exposed root to say, and I can just fill that. So let's see what happens next. We'll find out here in a little bit. Okay, so as you saw, went around, got all of them done. Now the insides are going to be nice. I got quite a bit of penetration, which is good. Let me take this clamp off right quick. And so I'll hit those with a wire brush again. Of course, naturally some more of that rust will come off. And then I'll just do a button weld, almost like a rivet, all the way around. And so that'll look more attractive on this side. And if he decides to sand them flush, well then that's fine too, right? But that's looking good. So this turned out okay. I mean, this on-off pulses kind of, you know, they are what they are. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. So this is looking good. I won't bore you through the rest of those, but I will show you how I'm doing these. Let me clean these up right quick. Excellent. So this is looking good. Those will hopefully look like rivet heads as they get painted, so it doesn't look too bad. Either that or he can sand them down with a flap disc or so, but either way they're done. So the next thing to do would be work on the other three. So we will fast forward through that. That way we can get that out of the way and move on to our next little project here. All right, let's go. Okay, so next is getting this stud off of here, and they had sandblasted these parts, which is nice. Of course, they're getting a little surface rust now, but I'm gonna try and just weld a nut right over it, right on the outside of it there, and see if that'll heat it up enough to break it loose. So that's pretty easy. Let's see if we can find something to slide over that. Okay, so this looks to be a 1/2-13 thread. Pretty standard. So it caught a couple of threads on here, so that's good. But I did find this guy right here. This is a metal type locking nut. It's got a little taper, like an acorn taper. This is works really well for when you have bolts that break below the surface. This will kind of help get in that hole a little bit, and then you can plug weld in there. I have to show you that in another video, but these work really good for that. All right, so let's plug weld this guy and see if we can work it out. And let that cool for a second. Okay. Well, it's gonna come out, so let me get a little impact for that. So that wasn't so bad. Turned out all right. See, that guy's still hot? Yeah, probably. Okay, so pretty simple. Okay, one of the things I will have to address with the customer is to see whether or not he wants this little corner built up. Looks like it was like a chip came off of it, and that's where those little blocks on that rim catch. So that will take some preheating though, and that'll save for the little bit later. So let's keep moving on. I think I'm going to try and see about cutting these little blocks and installing them. Let's do that next, I think. All right, so the next step we're at is to clean these areas up, because we're going to be welding on these little squares. And these little squares, they lock into this rim right in there, right against these little guys right here. And so I've got the owner.
Hey!
So he'll be here watching over me, make sure we do it right. And there you go. Yep, and so these little guys will just weld right around this corner. So that's the process next. And we got those welded up like I mentioned earlier. Just need to grind them down with a flap disc, same thing in here, and then figure out where those guys go. So everything's looking good, and let's keep moving. Right on. What do you listen to?
Everything.
This is pretty much what we listen to.
Hey, I got nothing wrong with Stevie, I'll tell you that much.
I really like the way you get the feeling that he had a lot of feeling in his guitar playing with Gary Moore.
Oh yeah.
He played incredibly well.
Yeah.
Too bad the dude died, so it would have been nice to go see him.
Too bad both of them died, you know?
Which one? Oh, this guy?
Yeah, Stevie.
I actually saw him in concert in '87. 87, wait a minute, I shouldn't have said that.
He died
90.
8 days after I turned 9 years old. So how about
He turned 9 years old. Funny.
in Wisconsin?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he.
That's right. They're up to the mountain. So when I saw him in '87, though, I did not know it was him because I was not in my right self.
That'll happen. We all go through that.
Yeah. So what was funny is that I saw him and I didn't know who he was because we saw him and Eddie Money and all kinds of other crazy guys.
Oh yeah.
It was at a spring break, and it was just up until I moved here. It's like, man, that sounded so familiar. And it was, oh man, that's who I saw. It's just kind of a funny thing.
That's dark stuff. I mean, that shouldn't matter, should it?
Nope.
Cool. Now I'm done.
Yeah. Oh, right on. Okay, cool. I guess let me get a wire quill so we can clean that up. Might be able to build that up a little bit. That corner, you know?
Yeah.
We'll find out right away.
I mean, that's pretty flat. You want me to just hit it with a flap wheel?
Yeah, if you're cool with, yeah, actually that'll work. Yeah, hit it with a flat wheel and make all that new, and we can build that up. Right around. Okay, so Eric cleaned this up and we tacked one of these on there. However, we ran into a little bit of a problem. It looks like it was not contacting this surface enough right in this area. So that gives a good reason as to why this corner broke off.
This is cleaned up.
Yes, that's cleaned up, right. However, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go with a thicker piece of this material. This is 1/4 inch. We're gonna move up to a 1/2 inch. Something like that, so that it has more surface contact on this wheel adapter part. So let's get those cut. We'll go ahead and use this as an original. We'll put the other one on here. Use it as a spare. He's got an extra rim, so that's good. But all the other ones will jump up to the next size. So time to cut some pieces.
This is a machine. This is something else. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be all the stuff I have to cut from now on. I'm gonna be just hating my life, just knowing something like this exists.
Yeah, for sure. I did a lot of things with just a portable band, the little portable band saw.
Yeah.
Man, for years I would just cut and cut. It was just terrible.
I've got a cordless Milwaukee, one of those I got off a marketplace real cheap. Yeah, we're about right there.
Okay.
I mean, I can push it in with this, but
Yep.
we got.
Technically one more.
We've already got the pair over there too.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Down cut a little crooked because it peaked up.
Yeah,
We can sand it
starting
down.
to.
Yeah, we
You're
can
gonna
sand it
push
down.
the rust through.
We can just dress these up a little bit if you like with the flap disc.
I think it's fine. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. You're cool with it.
Yeah.
You can put that clamp on here and then we can just use the vice grip as our gun. Make sense?
Yeah. But you want me to use the other vice grips for this?
That work? All right, on. Thank you. Very nice.
A little more on there, right?
You said moron?
There's a little cap on the emphasis on the moron.
Hold on. Let's turn it around.
Inside, yeah.
Right on. Cool. I think it's burning good enough that you could probably go ahead and go from this way that way. Because this set pretty smooth. It sounded really nice.
I'm gonna try that whipping pause. I've never done that. That rubber.
Pretty funny, huh? You can really smell it. You're a little far away.
What's that?
You're a little far away.
A little far away.
Cool. Like it, love it.
That is at the top.
I wonder if we can just ground this thing and then.
Let's try it.
That sounds great. You like it?
Yeah.
Right on.
It's got a lot of. It's zippy. A lot of power on this thing, huh? You're like, I don't know, whatever.
It works. Right on. You got mostly on the running of the pass. That's no problem.
I'm new to the whip and pause.
That's all right. That one blended in, you can tell. That looks really good. Okay, next ones.
Oh, I gotta. Well, we can just measure it, right? We don't have to put it on this thing, so I can. Because otherwise, we're gonna have to wait for me to grind all these nubs off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Were you more comfortable? You wanna measure it out specifically from the center? Or?
Yeah, that one's not as centered as I would have liked it. It's a
Okay.
good spare.
Where's the center?
Center is that. But here, where's the adapter?
You want to kind of set them on there, each one of them? We can, because that way you ensure that they all fit.
Yeah, but then I'm gonna have to go through and grind these all out before I can even do that. So what I was gonna say is that when you measure across this,
Sorry.
I just found that measuring straight across, it was 5 inches. Does that make sense?
Right, so one of my concerns was that this, if you put that at 5 inches,
Oh,
so you can't, it doesn't turn on the radius the same.
got it.
So this may have to be like at 4 7/8, unless we use this taper to our advantage and make sure that it points.
Oh yeah.
That would work. Use the taper to our advantage this way. Right,
Yeah.
so then it would kind of be like that.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is that this thing, on the outside is, even on the outside here, it's more than 5 inches, see? So what I'm saying is that by the time it reaches the curvature of it, so I'm wondering if I should be measuring like across. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So if we were to, here, I mean, just, it's not gonna go all the way down, but just for the sake of measurement. If you were to measure across like this at 5 inches, and then it would be pretty much it, right?
You can hold it.
Yep, yep. And that it seems like it
Yeah. It's a tough
might have
call.
2 spares. Well, I already got this one, you know. Give me a minute. Let me just grind these out and we'll just make sure. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, no, for sure. Probably set it in there.
Oh.
Yeah, help you any?
So.
All right, so we got those wheels, or nothing. He did it all himself. Got those wheels welded up. It's good. Now we're gonna get these corners built up here. We're hoping it's a cast steel. It's hard to tell, but we will find out right away.
Pretty much everything else is that we found. Is that a repair?
Good question. Quit looking at that.
All right.
This is
that
our
goes on the
problem.
inside. No one can see that.
So we're gonna heat this up with rosebud and just get it warm so that it'll accept the weld. So that's next.
I was gonna not have homeboy sandblast these, but I might actually have him do the outsides just because I want to. You know, you lose a lot of the detail. You blur the detail of the wire wheel.
Even with the wire wheel, you can blur?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I mean, I found like, you know, like stampings and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can blur the edges of those pretty good.
You're not careful.
But of course, with the sandblast, it just looks nice and vivid.
Okay, so spin it about 100 miles an hour.
Okay. Stand back.
I was kidding. People ask why I cover it with soot.
Yeah, so the welding sticker, right? It's bad.
Partially, yes. But in this case, what we're going to do, as it heats up, we'll know it reached a certain temperature, like 500 degrees, and it'll burn off.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, not necessarily that it's a heat soaked 500 degrees, but at least we know that we evenly got it warm all the way around. So
Right up to the ground.
Yep. So as you're spinning it, I mean, it'll be very slow, and it'll slowly burn off and work its way up. We want to do this.
So is this fast enough or too fast?
Oh yeah, way too fast. Come over here. We'll just
You want to heat the whole thing, right?
pretty much.
Sorry about that.
Check
Right.
that to see if it's oh yeah, that's plenty warm. Let's
Alright.
yeah, let's I don't have my wire brush.
Got this.
That'll work. Yeah, so you can just put spots on it and build it up just like we did with the
Like stitch it like we were doing?
yeah. There we go.
Huh?
The other way. There you go. I'm not picky, but I'm picky.
Use your words.
Hey, well done. Take that off. Did you see the different colors that came out?
Yeah.
It's because that was weld that overlapped without sticking. Okay. Stop. There you go. Smaller specks. Hold on.
Oh man.
Maybe getting some wind. See the wind coming in?
That's not. Can you get me started?
Sorry?
Can you get me started?
Yeah. There you go.
I have a feeling we're gonna be friends for a while, man.
I'm telling you, they're going no. We cannot hang out.
I'm just kidding. We're gonna be back for cop car before too long.
You don't want to start that over, it's too long.
Right.
Okay, very similar. We'll do get a wire brush. Let's heat up that area just a little bit. Just to keep it happy. Keep it warm.
What are all those sparks coming off of it? Is that rust or what?
It could be the rust. The orange is definitely rust that's glowing and it burns off. That's a good time to hit it with a brush though. You can hit all of it with a brush if it's glowing. It should come off really easy. Now go ahead and clean it out pretty good the way you want.
We got that rare tiger stripe Coleman.
Yeah. Brindle, whatever it is.
Looks good. Or at least better.
Anything that glows when you're trying to preheat it is kind of a carbon layer, or just it's a shield against
Something to come off, huh?
Yeah, it can come off. Yeah, so when you can get the steel down to the bare metal, it will heat cut. You think your gloves are thick enough to get it off of there? Put it on the ground? Kind of deadly quick about it.
Yeah.
You can put it just set it on something because I don't want the ground to soak up the heat from it. Okay. And just cut it.
Man, I just come over and leave your tools everywhere.
Sure. Okay, now next.
You got a son, you know what it's like.
Shop. My dad reminds me too. All the tools are left in the yard. That one? Oh,
I mean, what are we doing? Oh yeah, we got some questions on this one, right? It doesn't really look too bad, does it? Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking of cracks.
Yeah, no, let's warm this guy up, and now that you got the hang of it, that'll be good.
What's all that?
All the shavings, the grinding shavings.
Oh,
You ever run into magnesium shavings? Yeah, man, don't light them up. They won't turn off.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Magnesium will burn to the ground. Machine shop I used to work at had a bunch of magnesium shavings. You put them in a Sprite can and lit them up, and we had to wait for it to turn off. You don't turn it off with water, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty bad.
I don't want to brag or anything, but I used to drink milk with magnesia, so I mean, I'm pretty much invincible. The problem is I can't light my farts, I never put them out.
Go ahead and touch it, and give it a glow and see how hot it is.
Pretty warm. I don't want to touch it.
Damn! Warm enough.
Put the ground on here or on here?
Just put it on there, somewhere comfortable. Yeah, that's pretty warm.
I don't know, man. I kind of use my hands for my living. Hold on. Ready?
Yep. Okay, so now we got the next step. It's a very interesting axle housing. Eric says it may be one of one, because this is cast. Very odd. Fill us in.
It's a 1952 Coleman four-wheel drive, front drive axle. It's actually modular to the International it was made for, so this actually, an International Harvester differential goes right in here. Uses International solid drive shafts, and then the hubs, the one that you saw earlier was, they just rotate around it, and it's driven by like a gyroscope.
Oh, grab that piece, that other piece that goes on it.
So this is the axle extension. This goes right here.
So
and
crazy.
Then the bearing on top and on bottom. And then this is a spindle actually, and that spins around on it, and it spins a whole hub while the drive shaft stays
Straight. So as he sandblasted it, discovered some cracks in this area.
Yeah, there's a bunch of casting repairs all over here that like a major production, mass production axle would not have. Like it's kind of bush league looking. But this was actually made, we believe, as a prototype. As far as we know, this is the only one that exists.
It's crazy. Well, hopefully this is fairly thick, enough to where we can grind into it and patch it up and blend it in well so it doesn't look bad.
We've got to make it hold at least 2,000 miles.
Not bad. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is all the porosity
Yeah.
in the casting marks. I'm not familiar with casting, whether it was sand or how they did it, but that's pretty cool. Nothing else on this side?
The weird casting numbers is like they ground this one off because they use the same basic template for a GM axle that I've seen, but they had to put a different differential in that one. So I think they changed this number on the fly.
Oh, we know it's weldable.
Right.
They welded in there. That's all.
Not that the quality of those welds is any indication, but
Yeah, it's holding. Yeah, so it's good. I wonder if they changed it over from top to bottom, or you know the reasoning behind this?
I don't.
Yeah.
Actually, these use. I saw it. You know, in recent years, I saw somebody on a 4x4. You know, one of those aftermarket guys, and they had these, instead of U-bolts, they had U-bolt plates.
Yep.
And, you know, where they get rid of the U-bolt and they just use bolts,
Standard
basically
bolts.
giant studs.
Right.
And these guys actually had that on this axle in 1952. And the studs actually even had a Coleman part number stamped on them.
All Coleman.
And they had it has vice marks where the guy was holding it in the vice and hand stamping the part numbers in it. It's bizarre.
Well, it is too funny. Vice grip bite marks, or the vice marks. Okay, so that's our goal. We need to look at that guy too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Don't look at those. You know. Or what about this guy?
Yeah, quit looking. Okay, that's next. Okay, so this is pretty neat, kind of crazy, all at the same time. There's my flashlight. There we go. So, it looks like there's a ridge there, or a root from a weld, but I can't really tell. I don't know. We don't know how they built this thing. Same thing on this side. Looks like a root pass on a pipe weld. But that is exactly where that crack is, right there. So, I don't know how they put that together. And he doesn't know how to put that together. So we're just gonna glue it with some metal glue. Okay, we'll preheat it and start welding. Funny.
Yeah, maybe not that. Yeah. Probably not the one thing that you're
We're trying to fix. Okay.
That'll work. Put something flammable under it, you know?
You guys have been awfully busy, and you're a whole other shade. So are you.
No, his arms are gonna be all burnt up.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even notice, but
Yeah.
y'all get sweaty and sooty.
No, he's been working here and I've been working over there. So
Oh, it's been.
I mean, just get start having too much fun.
I told him though that we cannot be friends.
We cannot be friends.
If you know what I mean.
Yes, I do know what you mean.
This is going to be trouble for everyone.
Yes.
It is gonna be.
This is like, when I met him, he was always greasy and dirty, always working underneath his truck. And my mom hated him because he was filthy. And it's his thing, it always has been, so.
Yes.
All right.
My wife
Had
knows the drill.
Does she?
Oh, yeah.
She knows the drill, yeah. I mean, after 28 years, we kind of beat each other down. Yeah, we know what. Yeah, I know what you like, son. You know what I like.
Yeah,
Meet each other's expectations and submission.
Yes, exactly. Oh, you're gonna be in the shop?
Yeah, I'm going shopping.
Cool, my shows are on today.
Right, exactly.
We're gonna finish this up here.
Okay, no worries. All right. Do you need anything like a Gatorade or some
Almost
water?
set.
Yes, he needs a Gatorade.
Okay.
I'd drink
And
one.
I'll take one also.
I'd drink one if it showed up. But
Okay, yeah, I'll bring it to you. I'm gonna just put them on ice. So.
Careful with Wiley, because she ran out there to the edge.
Oh,
We got a skunk that lives under our shipping container,
Oh.
and so she's gotten hit a few times. Doesn't learn.
Tomato juice or vinegar or what?
No, just leave her outside and Gojo hand cleaner.
Go walk it off.
Gojo hand cleaner and Dawn. Wash your hands. funny. Hey, baby. Wow. Thank you, love. Well, it's getting warm. The smoke's coming out. So, interestingly enough, look how hot that got. So that's pretty thin.
See that?
Yep. So it should be ready to go.
Gas piece?
Need to ground up. Need to ground.
Yeah. I thought you were talking to him when he said, Taz? Like, what are you talking
And
about?
action.
Ground? No, it is cast.
And the piece breaks off. Oh, actually, you can go ahead and pulse it like you were doing earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll catch up later.
Alrighty.
You got the time?
Huh?
You got the time?
7:20.
Okay.
How does that look? I'm kind of filling across it.
That's good. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's really good. How's it looking as the front of it is? Does it look like the oil seeping out or anything? It looks good?
No, it looks good.
Okay, excellent. No. All right, so Eric did an excellent job filling up that crack, and we just let it cool, and then we can blend it all in with a flat disc, and then hit it with a needle scaler, and you won't even know it was there. So fantastic job there. It's looking really good. We'll look at the other spots, maybe.
Thought we weren't going to talk about it.
No, well, yeah, don't look at them. I mean, if you're cool with the way they are,
There's this one here.
we can actually look at it from the inside as well. See if they go all the way
There's one
through.
right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't see that one coming through the inside.
but that was a good job. That turned out really well. So we'll let this cool down. We'll do a little more inspection and go to the next step. But everything's looking great.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, right on.
Got a deadline, and I think we're going to make it.
Hope so.
Right? Yeah, you and me both.
You and me both. Right on. Okay, so let's cover that up. Okay, we're at the next step here. We got this all bolted together. We skipped out on showing the beveling of that, but had some little cracks here and here. And so we're gonna preheat this up and put some TIG weld in it. It looks like it's good enough to take some regular mild steel filler rod. It looks like a cast steel, so it should be fine. And so excited to give it a shot and see how well it holds. But again, we gotta heat it up, so let's do that next. Well, it did kind of come through. Good. Let me melt that in there first. Blend it in there.
Just that.
Just with the torch fill. It'll definitely work. Now we'll build up this edge here a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll build up this edge to kind of blend that in if there's any. Let's go ahead and turn it this way. And then I'll just weld across there.
That looks really good. You're really good at it. I don't know if anybody ever told you that.
What's that?
I said I don't know if anybody ever told you that.
I didn't hear what you said.
You're really good at this.
Oh. You got somebody fooled.
No fool like an old fool, right?
Okay, so that we can blend in with a file just to be more delicate instead of getting it with a grinder. So
I got files.
Yeah, that's okay. So let's see how hot that other side is.
I think it needs to be warmed up.
Okay. Let's find out. That'll work.
That'll work?
Yeah, it'll work. Let's see about turning that guy.
You want to do it the outside first?
Yeah.
Like that?
Okie dokie.
I was thinking I would have put the thing backwards.
That's right. Okay, so this is going to be.
Oh wow. Crazy to see what the heat does in there.
Yeah, sometimes cast has bubbles in it and they'll explode themselves. But I just was doing it kind of a little preheat. These guys aren't really sharp. Better out chewing it with my teeth.
I make a pretty good video.
Yep. Want to see how he glues teeth? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, it poured through.
Man, what a cool process.
Had you not ticked before?
No.
You will today. It's the cleanest form of welding, obviously,
Yeah.
because there's very little
Spatter.
Yeah, no spatter at all.
Very little soot, it looks like.
Oh yeah, no, not really no soot. You familiar with home-built aircraft, like little two-seaters that people can buy kits and build themselves?
I know of them, I don't know much about them.
So that's what moved me to Austin. I worked for a company that built the framework. A lot of TIG work for building home-built airplanes.
Where'd you move from?
Further south in the Rio Grande Valley.
Look at that.
Slowly getting From there, I went to another place building race cars, roll cages. It's a fucking off the Airport Boulevard. Yeah, I'm gonna go again. Excellent. Give me a move. See what that looks like.
Man, that looks good.
Sure. Oh, it's good. See what it looks like on the
This thing sure stays warm when you're welding on it, doesn't it?
heat transfer's pretty good. I may need to add just a little bit right in this corner, but other than that, we're looking good. Hold that finish it right? Can't see. Did I fill it in? I can't tell.
Looks like it.
Okay, so that can be filed down. That'll be good. They want to cover that with a towel. Is that all we need on those
Yeah.
two? Okay. Go ahead and
I'm gonna
cover
sit
it.
here and cover the towel.
Yeah. Okay, so we got that other part fixed up and we're covering it up to cool off a little slower. Now it's moving on to this guy here. And this guy takes a bearing race in here, but as you can tell, the bearing race is slightly loose. But if it was a race car, it'd be loose is fast and fast is loose, right? Yeah. So you need to build those guys up. So we're gonna add some TIG weld in here and build it up, and he's gonna take it to the machinist, get that machine back out to a slight press fit, which is interesting because it doesn't press fit all the way through. But interesting design nonetheless. So that is next. All right. Move it.
Start burning through the sidewall.
What's that?
Let's start burning through the sidewall.
It's just the it's not burning through the sidewall. It's just it's getting so hot it's burning all the grease out of it.
That work?
Yeah. It's always a challenge to reach so far out and keep so still at a distance.
Right. I saw your Domino's picture. I don't want to hear about it.
I shouldn't have posted that picture, eh?
Yeah.
So what you do is you set up the dominoes initially like the pi symbol. You make a bridge. You stand two of them up, and then as you start stacking them, it'll get to a point where you stack one side higher than the other, and it'll relieve the stress out of one of them, and you slide that guy out, and then it's on. And then you got to be real careful and stack the last 6 or 7 on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Balancing all on that one end. So you'll have to place 2 of them on at the same time. To balance each other out, which is fun.
Yeah.
It's a cool trick if we can pull it off, because it is hard. I'm getting there. I already made it around, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to where I'm a little close to. Don't do that.
Try not to.
Not do that for sure.
I want to start here. From here?
Yeah. Actually, I can probably add a little bit here very delicately, and then that'll be machined off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can go over this hole. Hold on.
I'm holding.
Okay. Look like it's flushing up with the surface, or
Oh yeah.
should I
You
go
look perfect.
a little bit more here, or are you good?
I think you're good. I think that's way good.
Okay.
That looks so cool.
Other side.
Be warm.
478. 472. Yeah, wait for just a second. Press this side up. Tell some jokes.
All right.
You hear about the peg-legged pig? Guy driving a Sunday drive, you know? You like Sunday drive, you have with it.
Right.
Guy cruising along and sees this pasture with a pig with a peg leg on the back. He says, honey, did you see that? Yeah. Pig with a peg leg. Man, I'm gonna turn around and see what's going on with it. So the guy goes up to the farmer's house and knocks on the door and says, sir, I believe I saw a pig with a peg leg. Is that your pig? He says, yeah, oh yeah, that's my pig. That's a real special pig. He says, really? He says, yeah, tell me about it. Okay, well, one day I was working on my tractor, had it all jacked up on blocks and stuff, and the tractor fell on me, and I started screaming, and that pig come running over to me, and with his snout, he picked up the front end of the tractor, and I was able to crawl out, save my life. Man, that's amazing. Says another time, I was working in the barn, had a bunch of wood piled up against the wall, and the wood just fell over and pinned me down. Pig heard me screaming, come busting through the doors, picked up all that wood, saved my life again. I said, wow, that's a really special pig.
Right.
He says, yeah, with a pig that special, you just can't eat them all at once.
Yeah. That hurts.
Should have told me. I would have told him. The blind guy goes into a bar, sits down at the bar, and says, bartender, you want to hear a blonde joke? Silent. Here's music going on. So, bartender, you want to hear a blonde joke? Still nothing. The guy next to him says, excuse me, sir. I know you're blind, but you may not know this, but the bartender is blind. And that bouncer that let you in, he's blonde. And that lady that's looking at real mean at you from the table over there, she's blonde. And by the way, I am blonde. So he goes, are you sure you want to say a blonde joke? He says, well, that's a good point. Now that I think about it, I don't want to have to explain it 4 times. You're right. I don't want to have to explain it.
Duck walks into a hardware store. Say, hey, you got any duck food? The guy's like, nah, man, it's a hardware store. We don't have duck food. All right, leaves. Comes back the next day. Hey, man, you got any duck food? Like, no, still no duck food. Still a hardware store. All right, he leaves. Comes back the next day. He's like, hey, man, you got any duck food? He's like, listen, told you twice already. Hardware store. We have a duck food. You come back again asking for duck food, I'm gonna staple your feet to the floor. He's like, oh, okay. So he leaves. Comes back the next day. Hey man, you got any staples? He's like, no. He's like, oh, got any duck food?
No, wasn't. Do you have any duck poop? Oh man.
It's getting real in here, huh?
Let's see. Well, we already lost 100 degrees almost. We're at 370 now.
It's because we're so cool.
Yeah, we're cool. That's three. Okay, just the one.
So this traveling salesman driving through the country, it's getting late at night, you know, and he's getting drowsy and he sees this farmhouse and pulls over and he's like, hey, you mind if I spend the night? I'm just driving through, I'm just a traveling salesman or whatever. He's like, you're like, well, yeah, that's fine, but the only bed we got's the one with Junior upstairs in the attic, and so you have to sleep up there with him. Like, all right, you know, it's a 6-year-old kid. And it's like, all right, well, whatever. It's just a night, gotta spend. Goes up there, they're in this little full-size bed or whatever, and shut out the lights, trying to go to sleep. All of a sudden, this little kid gets out of bed and kneels down on the other side of the bed. And the traveling salesman's like, man, now I feel all guilty, you know, just not like this guy's like, when's the last time I got down on my knees and prayed, you know? It's just feels so bad, like so I have to do this so that so he gets out of bed.
Sure.
He kneels down on his side of the bed. And so the kid goes, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm doing the same thing you're doing. He's like, oh, mom and dad are gonna be pissed. And he's like, why is that? He's like, because the pot's on my side of the bed.
They're gonna be mad. Okay, that's a good one. I have to remember that one. Now that we're telling jokes, I forget the jokes. Like that.
All right.
Stop there.
Yep. Oh, so next time I tear this apart, I'm gonna be.
Me cussing my name. And I'll be laughing out.
Who is this?
Okay. That's still visible. Thank you. You have pretty decent vision?
What's that?
You have pretty decent vision?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're able to see that, I just basically moved forward a little bit and add a dab of weld. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Create a, that's what creates the little ripples is your next addition of weld. Let's go and flip it over and do the opposite side. This thing there inside there, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Grease is trying to come out. I have
Acetone?
just napkins will work over there on the.
Let's do this.
Sure. Acetone right now. Boil off real fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll work.
that grease sizzling?
Yeah, it's probably something burning off. The impurities float to the surface. It almost looks like we knew what we're doing. Almost.
One of us does.
Start getting pretty warm. Give me a. Oh, they should have moved there because I need a rest so I can get this. Turn it around, we can flip it over.
Man.
About 3 more passes maybe.
I'm gonna wire brush that.
Yeah. Okay, so we got this welded up, built it all up there. We're gonna take it to the machinist. Got both sides built up. Hopefully that's enough to get the enough measurement, or enough to let the machinist cut it out to the right size. So things are looking good. We're loading up all his stuff. Got it all ready to go. All right, almost forgot this piece here. This piece is supposed to be straight-ish. It's straight if you look at it that way, and it's straight if you look at it that way, and it's straight if you look at it that way. But looking at it all at once, it's not straight. So we'll try and get this guy straightened out and see how close we can get it. All right, let's keep trucking.
straight. What we're gonna try to do is get it straight in itself. Right, make sure it's straight this way. Yeah. And then we'll straighten up. We'll mold these to where they're So.
Okay, looking at it, looks like we got it straight this way. But now, it's crooked this way. All right, well, it looks like we got it straightened out. Look this way. It now sits flat. With the table that way. Same thing here. Flat with the table that way. And flat with the table that way. So, look like it's ready to go. Can't wait to see this project get done. All right. So now it's all on you.
Yeah.
Look at that. Ready, Freddy.
Yeah, getting there.
I'm excited for you.
I'm excited too. I'm also stressed out.
Yeah, you have quite a challenge. So, if you want to see more, catch Eric on bare knuckle binder. I'll put a link on the video here on the screen so you need see who it is. But anyway, right on.
Right on, man.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Let's go get tacos.
Let's go get tacos.